You're watching NFL Daily, and NFL free agency is well underway. We are almost through a week of NFL free agency, and there are still a bunch of darn good football players out there. And if you guys want more updates on free agency and, of course, the draft, which is rapidly approaching, and I have so many prospects to get to, hit that big red button and subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Tom Downey here for Chat Sports. We'll get to the latest on guys like Lael Collins.Terron Armstead, a free agency tracker as well. But first, got to talk trade. Baker Mayfield, his time in Cleveland is going to be over very, very soon. Baker requested a trade, and the Browns had said, no, we're not trading you. And then suddenly, they went out and they were able to land Deshaun Watson. I wonder, by the way, if Baker's trade demand got the Browns to go back and offer more money to Deshaun, because I think that was what got him to Cleveland in the end. So now Baker will get his wish. I will make note, Mayfield is due a fully guaranteed $18.86 million salary this year. Now, if the Browns want to eat some of that to help facilitate a trade, they could. But Baker wants to start. No one's going to bring Baker in for that amount of money to be a backup. So barring some, sending a pick with it, which seems unlikely, or eating some of the money, Baker's options are limited. The Browns' options are limited. For a player that's coming off a down year, at the end of 2020, it looked like to me that Baker was taking that step forward. He played great in the back half-ish of that season. This year, though, in part because of injuries, he didn't have it. And it wasn't like a physical thing. At times, it looked mental. Baker wasn't throwing it. There were three guys open on a play. He wouldn't throw it at all. It was so baffling to see out there. Now, Baker's always been the if you're not with me, then you're against me mindset, which, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But with the contract and the down year, I'm curious, what draft pick do you guys think Baker Mayfield is worth? The Browns, they're just going to get what they can for him because they got their QB. It's a matter of getting that salary off the books. So let me know in the comments what draft pick you guys think Baker is worth. I think there are four teams that make a lot of sense here for Baker. The Indianapolis Colts, let's start with them. They have been most heavily linked to Baker. Allegedly, Mayfield wants to play for them. If you're not going to go trade for Jimmy G, I think Baker makes a lot of sense for a place like Indy. That's the other big name still out there. The Seattle Seahawks also linked to Baker. They offered a lot of praise for Drew Lock, but it's Drew Lock. What if it costs a third or a fourth? I don't mind that for Seattle. Carolina, hey, they tried Sam Darnold. Let's try the other QB from that class who's also not that great. I think Baker's better than Sam is right now, and Carolina is in desperate need of a QB. And the Saints, also a possibility there. Maybe they just re-signed Jameis Winston, but they were the runner-up along with the Falcons and kind of Carolina to get Deshaun Watson. I would figure Atlanta just rolls it back with Matt Ryan, though. So what do you guys think? Who will trade for Baker Mayfield? I'm going to make this question the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Let's talk free agency now. Two tackles I want to discuss, beginning with Lael Collins. Collins was cut by the Cowboys a couple days ago, which wasn't a huge surprise. Nobody was going to trade for him, or at least they weren't going to give up the pick the Cowboys wanted to make the difference in the salary cap savings this year. The Bengals have been the most aggressive team linked to Lael. The Dolphins also in the mix. They aren't focusing on him right now, allegedly. We'll come back to them and who they are focusing on here in a little bit. But the Bengals make a lot of sense for Collins. Now, look, PFF loves Collins, and not many people out there actually great offensive line play. So I want to have stats. This is what we have. Don't blame me. I don't think he was as good as what PFF says. There are some concerns with Collins. Conditioning has been a problem in the past, 2020. Injuries, suspension. His hip might be raising some red flags on physicals. But the Bengals, well, they're still in the beggars can't be choosers category. Jonah Williams can start, whether it's left tackle, right tackle. Ted Karras will start at center after they cut Trey Hopkins. Alex Kappa will start, their big addition at right guard. That leaves left guard, right tackle, huge question marks. Riley Reif's a free agent. Is Dante Smith a piece for you? Fred Johnson. Are you going to try Jackson Carman over there? Probably not. So you slot Collins in at right tackle. That leaves one hole you want to try to fill at left guard. What if you re-sign Quentin Spain and let him compete with maybe Hakeem Adeniji, maybe Jackson Carman, or an early round draft pick? I like that plan a lot for Cincinnati. So who do you think will end up signing Lael Collins? Is it the Bengals, the Dolphins, a team not mentioned like Denver, maybe? Shoot your shot, make your predictions for me in the comment section right there. While you're down there, make sure you follow us on Rumble, rumble.com/NFL Daily. We are posting videos on there. We got our after-hours coverage on Rumble as well once a week. Go support us so we can dominate that video platform as well. It's rumble.com/NFL Daily. Link will be in the comment section and in the description. Terron Armstead next up here. Armstead is one of the best free agents left on the open market. He has been really good when healthy in the NFL. Now, the Dolphins this is the player they're allegedly focused on. Armstead's great. He's never played all 16 games in a season. He's getting up there in age. All those things together might bring down his value. But when he's out there, he's awesome. Look, Armstead's PFF run grade wasn't great, but the Saints couldn't run the ball, in part because that offensive line was so decimated by injuries. And for Miami, you feel a lot better about that left side of the line if you sign Terron Armstead, hypothetically. Armstead slots in at left tackle. Connor Williams is your new left guard. You can let Liam Eichenberg and Jesse Davis and or draft pick compete at right tackle. One of those guys can play at right guard for you as well. Austin Jackson was supposed to be this team's left tackle. Let's call it what it is. Been a bust, at least so far, so I wouldn't bank on him being a piece for you long term. The O-line, I believe, still needs help in Miami. They seem to, at least internally, are pushing out to their own media. We want to blame, the coaching staff, the scheme. It's fine. That's what I'd say, too, if you wanted to keep your leverage down. But I would still go get more offensive line help. If I'm Miami, I think you got to sign one of these two guys. So pick one for me. You're running an organization, maybe it's your favorite team, maybe it's just a general one. Who would you rather sign? Type TA for Terron Armstead or type in LC for Lael Collins. Trade tracker time and free agency tracker as well. We broke this down on our Titans channel. Robert Woods to Tennessee for a 2023 sixth-round pick. The Rams are shopping Woods as they signed Allen Robinson because the cap does not exist to them in any capacity. So they wanted to get some money off the books, and they shipped off Woods to Tennessee. I love the deal for the Titans. Quarterback trade, no, not that one for Cleveland, or the other one that's going to come for Cleveland. Case Keenum is done as they're signing Jacoby Brissett. More on that here in a minute once we break down our free agency tracker here. The Bills getting their new backup QB. All right, a bunch of moves have gone down since the last time we were live, so let's break down some of those moves here. Juju Smith-Schuster, a one-year, $3.25 million deal. Lots of incentives on this contract. All of them unlikely to be earned because Juju didn't play last year. He's betting on himself to try and cash in again next year. And if we're being honest, he probably should have gone to KC last offseason. Pittsburgh, some special teams help here. Gunnar Olszewski, a two-year, $4.2 million deal. And Fletcher Cox is quickly back in Philadelphia, a one-year, $14 million deal. They cut him to save some money, then brought him back on a big deal as well, which is kind of interesting. I think they saved a little bit there. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but Cox is awesome. Keeps Philadelphia in position with a really good defensive tackle on that roster. Logan Ryan, cut by the Giants, going to Tampa as they form their trio at safety. You lose Jordan Whitehead, you add Logan Ryan to pair with Antoine Winfield and Mike Edwards. It's a great safety trio down there in Tampa. Speaking of safeties, Anthony Harris to the Philadelphia Eagles, re-signing 1 year, $2.5 million on that one. So a good deal there for Anthony Harris. Dante Fowler, this is actually the first time I've seen this number, 1 year, $5.5 million deal. I believe that is the up to total, so always keep that one in mind, but not a terrible contract in the end there. Fowler, hopefully he bounces back a little bit more than what he did in the past. Dante Jackson, re-signing gets the bag from the Carolina Panthers, a $35.1 million deal, just under $12 million per year to stick around with the Carolina Panthers. I would assume Stephon Gilmore is gone then. Randy Bullock, Fat Randy, re-signing with the Tennessee Titans. That's a kicker, so, kind of is what it is at that point. Eli Apple is also back with the Cincinnati Bengals on a one-year, $4 million deal. They haven't cut Trey Waynes yet, which is really interesting and actually surprising to me. Matthew Stafford gets the bag on his extension with the Rams, 4 years, $160 million. I've also seen a 3-year number thrown out there. We don't have the exact contract details, but this was the number initially reported, so we'll roll with that for Stafford. Does make him one of the top 5 highest paid QBs in the NFL. Robert Tonyan back with Green Bay as they're still trying to re-sign Marquez Valdez-Scantling. It's a 1-year deal for Robert Tonyan, and we kind of teased it earlier. Jacoby Brissett signing with the Cleveland Browns, a 1-year deal. We don't have the money. It'll probably be less than $5 million. Rasul Douglas also gets the bag from Green Bay after a massive breakout year. He's been a career journeyman, but he impressed this year. A 3-year, $21 million contract. And he'll also make note, Cordero Patterson has re-signed with the Atlanta Falcons as well.